Hey guys, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah, and we have a very special first guest. Joining us is Mark. We have Agnes and Randy who join us from Madison Area Rehabilitation Centers, and we are so glad to have you guys. Mark is one of our news partners, and because you guys have so much great information to share, so we are so pleased to have you. So please just start by talking a little bit about the West Center location. That's what we want to talk about today. So tell us a little bit about that, and then what kinds of services do you guys provide over there, and how many people does it take to kind of get this all going?
Okay, well, thank you for letting us be here, first of all. It's great to be here. Madison Area Rehabilitation Centers goes by the abbreviation MARC, M-A-R-C. We have 5 locations in Dane County that we're quite proud of, and we have a new location that's soon to start up in Sauk County. As far as what we do, we're an organization that helps people with intellectual or developmental disabilities to be successful within the community.
And what is your feeling? You guys have all this great experience of working with folks with disabilities. So what do you think that people with disabilities need most from their community, from folks, viewers at home possibly watching? What are you in search of?
Well, people with disabilities, just like people that are non-disabled, we're all looking for the same kind of thing. We're looking for a great place to live in the community. We're looking for great friends, and most importantly to a lot of folks, a wonderful place to work. When we look at work opportunities for people with disabilities, a lot of folks will think that it's a 40-hour work week, but it's not necessarily the case. A lot of folks are looking for 1, 2, or even 3 hours a day. In the world of disabilities, nationally, upwards of 70% of the folks with disabilities are either unemployed or underemployed. Now, what MARC is really trying to do is to bridge that gap with employers to create a workforce that's ready to go to meet business needs.
Yeah, and what you guys do is very important. So we really appreciate you guys coming on and sharing all this information with us and with potential employers out there or people who are in need of your services. And talk to me a little bit about what kinds of jobs are available for maybe employers who are out there that may be able to help out or get involved. What kinds of things do you provide job-wise for employers out there and for potential clients as work?
Yes, there's usually an unlimited amount of types of jobs that we can be performed. Typically, the jobs we're currently working on right now is box folding. Certain pizza restaurants provide us with 1 to 2 hours per day folding pizza boxes. By prepping these boxes ahead of time saves the time when preparing for the pizzas. There's also window washing. This is typically washing the entrance doors of small businesses. There's janitorial work, restocking paper products, and trash removal. We also do paper shredding, which is the most important one, 2 to 3 hours a week. By doing this, it saves the employer time for the employees to do more important tasks.
Absolutely. I mean, these are all things that are very time-consuming to a business owner, and taking some of the things off of their plate is a great way to get folks involved and get them in there working. And those are great long-term employment opportunities. But talk to me a little bit if there's employers out there who are looking for maybe some short-term options. Do you guys have anything available?
Yes, our West Side location has the ability to perform light assembly work. We do packaging there. We also do collating. We are currently working with local businesses in that area at our West Side location on Forward Drive.
Very good. And we're getting kind of close to being out of time here, but I want to make sure that we talk for employers out there. How do you guys ensure that the people you're bringing into these employers are a good fit for their business? What kinds of steps do you take?
Well, that's a great question. We're extremely interested in making sure that people are successful with their new job. So in order to accomplish that, we'll send a staff person right with the person their first day to the job site to learn all the job duties and the expectations of the employer. Sometimes our staff person will stay with the person just for a few minutes to get them started and check in on them throughout their shift. And other times our staff person will stay with them throughout the entire shift to make sure that those duties that the employer has in place are met.
Absolutely. So you guys take a lot of steps to make sure that not only your clients are in a good place, but also that the employers are happy and are receiving meaningful, productive work. So we appreciate everything you guys do. Really quick, what's the best way to get in contact with you for employers out there?
Well, you can contact us directly by phone at the 223-9110 number, or you can go directly to our webpage at marc-inc.org.
Inc.org. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Great information. As
Thank
always,
you.
we appreciate having you on as our news partners. And we've got lots more great Talk of the Town guests coming up right after the break. Stay right where you are. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining us now is a very special guest, one of our health news partners, our only health news partner actually, Dr. Marcia Schaefer. And we have asked you here because you've got all kinds of wonderful health news that you're going to be sharing with us over the next several months. But first, for folks who didn't catch you on your last segment, just give us a little brief recap on what you do over at Spring Creek Family Chiropractic.
Well, I work, my main focus is fertility. So I'm trained with pregnancy and infants, but I also have a really strong nutrition foundation based on my own health challenges, and so I help a lot of people with nutrition as well as chiropractic care.
Very good. And you guys really focus on health as a whole.
Right.
And so important. That's what was so fascinating about having you on last time is, I just really learned how involved, you guys are with, as far as total health. And I was very impressed with all of that and very fun to chat with you. But one thing that you're going to talk to us a little bit about today is juicing.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about this craze that seems to be picking up and, kind of what the background is, if you would.
Right. So in the 1920s, Dr. Max Gerson actually started this program that he had a vegetarian diet, raw food juicing, and he was working on regaining his health. And he called it the Gerson therapy. That's actually the same therapy I used when I was diagnosed with cancer, one of the main aspects of the treatment that I chose. In the 30s, Dr. Norman Walker wrote a raw food juicing book. And the Norwalk juicer, which is our #1 juicer in America, was created then. And 70s and 80s came, Jay Kordich, Jack LaLanne, the people that most people know when this craze hit. So juicing has been around for a long time, and people love it.
Very good. And what are some of the health benefits? Why do you suggest that somebody starts juicing if they haven't tried it yet? They're watching at home, they're looking to get into it. What's in it for them?
Well, a lot of people notice when they start juicing, they're going to have more energy, they're going to be sleeping better, their skin's clear. It's pretty crazy that we've got a major digestive problem in the United States. I think that's fair to say that a lot of people suffer from digestive disorders and things like acid reflux and that's mostly caused by too little stomach acid, not too much. So juicing is a great way to get that digestion working, and while juicing isn't curing anything, it's helping the body be the healthiest it can be.
Very good. And you have like a contest or something
Right.
going on your website, right? Tell
Right.
us a little about that.
We're actually giving away a juicer this month, and you don't have to be a practice member, you don't have to be part of Spring Creek Family Chiropractic, but if you come to classes, we are having a juicing class actually in Lodi, so we'll be giving away a juicer at the end of the month.
Very good. So you can check out your website and find out how you can win that juicer and attend all these great classes.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about the difference between juicing and blending. So lots of people have a blender and use that
Right.
for different things. So what's the difference? Are there any health differences there?
So juicing basically removes all the pulp. You're going to have all the pulp that's a side of the juice, and then blending has the entire food. So all the fiber is in there. A lot of people say, I need the fiber, I have to have the fiber. But there's a significant difference because if your digestion is off, the smoothies might make you feel bloated, might make you feel not so good, or blending might not break down that fiber properly, but juicing has the enzymes and the beneficial vitamins and minerals and all that stuff, so it's absorbed right away.
Okay, very interesting. And let's talk a little bit about blood sugar levels really
Right.
quick. So when you're consuming more juice, you're obviously consuming more sugar. So there's some concern there. So tell me a little bit about your take on that.
A lot of people have come to me with that concern. They feel that it's going to spike their blood sugar. They felt that they had to have that fiber. That's what their doctors have said, and other health people have said, you have to have that. However, they've actually found when they start juicing, they're regulating much, much better. And that is, again, because of your enzymes, your minerals, and your vitamins. Real living food is what the body needs. That's your building blocks for everything. So, even vegetables have 15 to 20% of their calories are going to be protein. So your body actually is taking in plant protein instead of your animal-based proteins. And it's really helpful.
Very good. And so folks who are at home that want to get started juicing,
Right.
what do you think is the best way for them to get started? Any tips?
Well, one thing you could definitely do, you could try some fresh juice from some of the Madison area places, but start with things like carrot. I've got a son who's going to be 4 this fall, and he adores carrot juice. It's really, really sweet. And one thing that people really notice when they start juicing is their palate changes. They don't crave the sugar, they don't crave the refined carbohydrates, because they're actually craving healthier food, which is awesome but kind of crazy. But the best thing is to start with vegetables that you like, because likely you're going to like them juiced too. So there are some that are more gentle on the stomach, but carrot is a really, really good start.
Very good. And that's very true what you say about, starting to crave those foods then. I found that so interesting. When you start eating certain things, then all of a sudden your body starts wanting those things, and that's what's so important about trying to turn your health around.
Right.
But that's why we have you on, because you always give us great tips, great health tips. And if you want Dr. Marcia Schaefer to give you some great health tips, you can give her a call at Spring Creek Family Chiropractic, and we'll have you on again next month to get some more great facts from you. So thanks so much for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've got more Talk of the Town coming up right after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining us now is Katie Plantenberg, who joins us from Albrecht, and we're so glad to have you, Albrecht Botanical Gardens. And the reason that we're having you on today is because you guys, for one, have just so much going on all the time, all kinds of great events and things for folks at home to come participate in. But you also have a big education and learning component. So I wanted to ask you about that. So thanks for joining us.
Oh, anytime.
So yeah, talk to us a little bit about some of maybe the classes that are offered. So you guys have lots of classes for adults. So talk to us about some of the educational opportunities for adults, for folks who are watching at home.
Okay. We have a ton of classes for adults. They go on all year long. And you don't have to be a serious gardener to take a class. You can be a gardening newbie like myself, and you'll get something out of it. So we have lectures about gardening techniques, gardening design, how to add landscape lighting to your garden, for example. Then there's also some more arts and crafty classes, botanical watercolors, how to make willow furniture, things like that, or even yoga and Tai Chi we offer as well, so some fitness in the gardens too.
Oh, that's cool. That's news. I didn't know that. You can take fitness classes
Yeah,
at Albrecht Botanical Gardens.
In a beautiful surroundings.
Very cool. And you guys actually do some classes for children too, don't you?
Right. Our children's classes are really, really popular. We have a series called Toddler Story and Stroll. It just keeps growing and growing. So all of our classes are designed so that adults and children can spend quality time together, and so they can start learning and getting exposed to nature and plants. Most of them include something like a story and then a hands-on activity and then a walk through the gardens. So Toddler Story and Stroll is really popular. We also have some where kids can get messy called Little Sprouts Gardening. They can go outside and get their hands dirty. And then some behind-the-scenes things too, like Breakfast for the Butterflies when we have our butterfly event coming up.
Very cool. So all kinds of things for kids to dig in and keep busy over the summer and all that stuff.
Yes.
So that's great, and what a beautiful setting to do that in,
Right.
and get a great learning experience out of it. So some of those probably take a little bit of advanced planning, but do you have any drop-in kinds of things for folks who are just, it's a rainy day or maybe it's a gorgeous day, they want to get outside, can they just walk in and be part of some of this stuff?
Definitely. On Sundays from June through September, we have something called Guided Garden Strolls. It's just a drop-in program. You meet in the lobby, and a volunteer will lead you on a little informal stroll around the gardens. And it kind of varies depending on the season or who the volunteer is. So they'll take you to different areas maybe each time. It's great for all ages. You can bring the kids, you can bring your grandparents, and walk around and just learn a little bit more about the gardens informally. And best of all, they're free. So you don't have to pay, you don't have to register. You can just show up on Sunday afternoons at 1:30 and 3 and get a guided garden stroll.
Wow, that's great. It's great news. And free activities
Free.
Sunday afternoons.
Right.
How wonderful. I didn't realize you had free programs like that, so that's wonderful. So all kinds of learning and events and things going on at Albrecht. What do you guys really do? How do people get so much learning about, the Nature Center and all of the gardening and activities you have there?
There's so many ways that people can get involved. There's volunteering. That's a great way for people to learn more. We have some volunteer crews that actually garden with our horticulturists. So if you want to learn more about gardening, that's a great way to do that. We have other volunteers who work on our events. We have a library. That's a great resource for people. And then we have events all the time that just can expose people to the beauty of the gardens. Even something as simple as a concert. You can take in a concert on the Great Lawn and just be surrounded by beauty and enjoy it that way.
Absolutely. What a gorgeous way to spend a summer.
Yes.
And you guys have a home garden tour coming up. So what can people expect from this tour? What's that all about?
Sure. The Home Garden Tour is coming up on July 11th and 12th. We're over in the University Heights neighborhood this year. And that is really a great way to get ideas for your own garden. You get to tour private gardens and see how those homeowners have solved gardening problems, or what they've tried and has worked, or what they've tried and hasn't worked. And there's lots of folks that you can ask questions and get answers and actually talk to the homeowners. And it's a great way to see what other people are doing and figure out how you might be able to apply those techniques into your own garden.
Very good. And we're running out of time, but you mentioned earlier something about like a butterfly event or activity. So tell me a little bit about this Blooming Butterflies and what people can expect with that.
Yeah, Blooming Butterflies is coming up in mid-July. It's one of our signature events. We get live butterflies. Well, we get them as chrysalises, and they emerge from their chrysalises in the Bowles Conservatory, and then they fly around, and people can get up close to the butterflies and see how beautiful they are, and they can learn a little bit too about butterfly life cycle or the role that they play in pollination and things like that. So it's fun and it's informative at the same time.
Very good. Well, we really appreciate you coming and sharing all these great events. And again, this is why we asked you to come on, because there's just so much fun stuff for people to get involved in over at Olbrich Botanical Gardens.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if folks at home want to check out the website, there's lots more information there, or drop in
Definitely.
for some free tours on Sunday afternoon. And a great way to spend a Sunday.
Exactly.
So, Katie, thank you so much for
Anytime.
joining us. Greatly appreciated. Guys, you stay right there. We're going to be right back with more Talk of the Town after the break. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining us now is Amy Miller, who joins us from Ultratech. And I'm so pleased to have you. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having us.
And I'm really excited. I was just saying to Amy right before we started to learn about this stuff, because this is something I really know very little about. But this is the CapTel caption telephone, and we actually have it right here, so we have a visual. So this is something that helps folks who are hearing impaired communicate via telephone. So tell us just a little bit about this, and what's the cost, and how does this all work?
Sure. The caption telephone is designed specifically for people with hearing loss. What happens is when you receive an incoming call as the person with hearing loss, you'll actually have captions come up on the screen of the telephone that display word-for-word captions of what your caller is saying. So if you can't quite make it out, you can read it.
Very cool. So talk to us a little bit about charges for something like this. Is this an
Sure.
expensive phone to acquire, or is there a monthly fee? Or
Not at all. There's not much of that involved at all. The only thing you have to purchase is the telephone itself, which is $75, and the service is free.
Okay.
The actual captioning service is free. There's no monthly charges. Once you've got the phone, it's yours to keep and use for as long as you need to.
Very cool. So you just buy the phone just like anyone else purchasing
Exactly.
a phone. And
Exactly.
Very cool. There's no extra fees involved. I didn't know that. Very neat.
It's a free service.
So talk to me a little bit about, do you need any certain utilities? Obviously a phone service, but is there
Sure.
internet required? Or how does that work?
We have two different models. One requires high-speed internet. This is actually the model that does require high-speed internet. And then the captions come through your internet line, where your phone call, your actual voice, is coming through your landline telephone.
Very neat. And what if folks are at home, maybe not real technologically advanced? Is there a lot of setup, or how do you get this
Really
going?
easy. It's really easy installation. All you do is plug your phone line in to your normal phone jack, as well as a normal adapter right into the wall, and you're set. You
Very
turn it
cool.
on, and it prompts you through a few setup steps, and then you're ready to go.
Very cool. Is somebody available for help or assistance if needed?
Yep,
too?
we do have people locally in the area that will come and help you set up the phone and teach you how to use it and get you all set to go, so it's very maintenance free.
Very cool. And if I wanted to learn more, or if I was at home and I, just wasn't really familiar with this whole thing, what would be the best resource? Now, do we, find you online, or you said there's a way to call?
Sure.
So talk to us about sort of the reach out resources
Sure.
for folks.
Sure. Our website is a great place to visit. We've got all kinds of videos and how-to tips. It'll even help you walk through which phone is going to be best for you. If you don't have internet, you don't want this phone. If you do have internet, you want this phone. If you are more of a low vision, we have a phone that has a larger screen on it with larger font sizes. So your captions can be as big as you need them to be if you've got low vision.
So there's all kinds of options out
Yes.
there, which is really nice. So
Right.
maybe tell us a little bit about some of those different options. This is one where you have internet, and it's got a lot of capabilities, it sounds like. But you mentioned that there's some for folks who don't even have internet at all.
Right. The only difference between the two phones, they actually look exactly alike, is that when somebody calls you, they actually would call an 800 number first. They're going to call the captioning service first, so you're connected. You never talk to anyone at the captioning service, but you call that 800 number, and then you dial the person's number that you're trying to reach. So you're all connected. When the person answers the phone, they're going to get captions.
Very good.
Whereas with the internet-based model, you don't need to do that. You just kind of take out the middleman. You're automatically connected to the captioning service through your internet line.
Okay, so there's just one extra step,
Right.
but that's a really nice option for people
Yeah.
who do not have internet.
Right, and if you
service.
don't have internet and don't want it or need it, you have an option. It's just one more extra step, and it's an 800 number, so it's toll-free anyway.
Very good. And tell me a little bit, now, if we don't have this kind of phone, is there a way to get captioning on your current phone, or do you need to make this purchase?
You have two options. You can make this purchase because you cannot get captions on a traditional telephone. It just won't work that way. But if you've got a smartphone and you don't have landline service, you can get captions on your smartphone with a couple different apps.
Really?
Yes.
How neat is that?
Yes.
Well, that's a really cool option
Yeah,
for people.
so if you're not a landline person or got rid of your landline because you have cell phones, no problem.
So
We
you
got
just
covered.
download a couple apps
Yep.
and captioned, you're all set up on mobile
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly.
Well, what a wonderful, nice option for folks who
Yes.
who need a little extra help. And you mentioned, there may be folks watching who need some help getting set up or getting this phone. What's the best way, in your opinion, to get started?
I would actually get started on the website. Go through, take a look, see what you need, and then you can order right on the website. Otherwise, you can call our 800 number, and someone will help walk you through the order process there too.
Lots of great options.
Yes.
Well, I greatly appreciate you coming on and sharing this wonderful information, something I was not real familiar about, and for folks at home needing a little help, this is a great option. So thank you,
Thank
Katie,
you.
for joining. Sorry, excuse me, Amy. I just had Katie on before you. Thank you, Amy, for joining us from Ultratech. Great info. Thanks for watching Talk of the Town. We appreciate you joining us. Join us next time right here on the CW 57.